know what that was, but we're live now, so that obviously didn't work. But very special guest tonight. You guys, as we were talking before, we were talking a year ago, and then we finally made it happen tonight. Please
Yeah.
introduce yourselves, man, and we'll go from there.
Cool. Guess start with Jasmine, I guess you.
Okay, I'm Jasmine. We're Polarity. We're in a band called Polarity. I'm Jasmine, Virginia, and I am the vocalist of the band.
Okay. I'm Mike Satana. I am the guitarist in the band Polarity. And Sheldon.
Yeah, Sheldon Fernandez here, and I also play guitar.
Oh, awesome, man. Thank you guys so much for coming on tonight. I know it's been quite a hectic ride for you guys. You guys are crushing it out there.
Thank you.
So, can we narrow down where in Canada you guys are? Like, you guys are a Canadian band, obviously, eh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So our band's always been kind of like we formed in the dredges of the basements of Mississauga, Ontario, and we've always kind of primarily kept our jam space there. So we are an Ontario-based band, and then Sheldon, you grew up Brampton, but now you're Angus, and
yeah, I live up north, and then Julian's out in Oshawa.
Yeah.
And
and Andrew or
Andrew,
Baseberry, almost the same way, like out in near Oshawa.
Yeah. So now we actually have three jam spaces. We have Mississauga, we have Angus, and then we have Oshawa. So we're like kind of triangulating all around Ontario.
Oh, that's awesome. I grew up kind of the Orangeville area. And then, we used to always come to Brampton and Mississauga to party and shit because it was the only place to go, right? So that's awesome. I didn't know you guys were so close. So definitely for the festival, man. You guys are like literally like an hour and a half away from the campgrounds and everything, right?
Yeah. So we're down.
I think
we're down the plane.
We're good.
Yeah, definitely. I'll get Hollywood to send over the info and make sure you guys are cool with the contract and stuff, and we'll get you on for July. We'll call July booked. We have 5 bands. Yeah, baby. Breaking news. But
cool.
Let's dive into some of your newer stuff here, man. You guys have been, I can't even compare you to another band because of the style you guys have. It's just phenomenal. Where does that come from? How did you guys not fall into a category? Like where does that
I love that. You know, that's like the biggest compliment I think like anybody can like actually like give a band.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do either of you guys, I'll let you guys speak to that first and then maybe I'll jump in if either of you want to take it away.
Well, I guess like because so Jasmine and I, we've been pretty much like the original members of the band. We've been together for many years, and when we started out, I mean, we answered each other's ads online. We decided to kind of just get together and started like listening. We knew what bands that really influenced us. Like for example, we listened to a lot of Perfect Circle, Tool, Deftones, Alexis on Fire. Yeah, and then we decided just to mesh and see what songs come out of it. Just like because we just love listening to all the same types of songs and type of music. And then as the years go by, like it's always been, we find that even though like we don't necessarily have a style, but we have like sort of a signature where we'd write. There's songs that are really heavy. There's songs that are they're light but ethereal and like very spacey and airy, and then we kind of sometimes mesh the two together a lot of times too. So, and then a lot of times we don't really think much. We just like enjoy. There's a particular style we want to play, like lately in the realm of like rock and metal, and we just kind of go with the flow more most of the time.
Sheldon, do you want to speak to that at all?
Yeah. Well, I joined later. Like they had a bulk of work that already existed before I joined, and part of that, joining a new band, is you don't want to remove from the sound that's already there, right? You want to make sure that you complement it in whatever way you can, which was kind of my approach to it. I listened to everything that they did before, and then I was like, okay, what can I do to sort of make sure that I'm keeping that essence of the music, and what kind of things that the other guitar players do to sort of, create the sound that you're talking about, right? Like what if it doesn't fit into any genre, like what was done, whether it's musically or whatever, to sort of keep that. So that was kind of my approach to it. Um, for the most part, even writing with these guys for the last, now it's almost been 5 years. Um, it's mainly Michael that comes up with generally the main riff of whatever song we're doing, at least in our past, recent history, and even the new stuff that we've written. And then like I'll come in and see what I can do with it, or like what I can add, or something, and then I'll suggest like little details and things like that here and there. And as a band, we move that way. It's always been extremely collaborative. Especially I'm in a lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I take part in a lot of other musical projects and different bands and things. And this is definitely, as far as original music goes, one of the most collaborative that I've ever been in, where it's just literally like all
That's
5 people have a 20% say. And
so
it's not
hard
even
to find too.
launching.
Like,
Yeah.
speaking to so many bands, I write everything and then I tell them how
Yeah,
to
yeah.
play it and
And the
stuff.
funny
It's
thing is
like,
I'm that way with my own stuff, you know what I mean? Like with
well,
my own projects, like I write
mhm,
100% of it all. So
Mhm.
so like being in this kind of band where, and what I will say is that 20% that everyone has is very organic. It's not like, okay, you put in your 20%, you put in yours. It's more like, hey, what about this? And it just ends up working that way, where everyone sort of gets to pull in their ideas, and
Mhm.
hasn't been a problem since. So
Yeah.
And I think one of our biggest philosophies, Bones, like just when it comes to like songwriting, is experimentation and trying everything, So to Sheldon's point of like our each 20%, like sometimes Sheldon's, percentage will actually be giving a drum suggestion. Sometimes my percentage will
mhm,
actually be giving a riff suggestion, or a melody for one of the guitars to take on if I hear that in my head. And then, it can kind of circle. So we always say like check the ego at the door, because the only way that we're ever going to be able to make good music is if we experiment with it, and like our philosophy
yeah,
is if we love to play it, like I really hate as soon as anybody in the band says, and not that it happens often, but it has happened in the past, well, what do people want to hear? I like that just like irks me, because I'm just like, no,
mm,
it's what do we want to play? That's how you keep an organic flow. And luckily for us, like, our like Sheldon, Mike, Andrew, Julian, they're all extremely talented musicians. They all bring something unique, even in like what they listen to in their own time, what they're practicing in their own time. So we love to blend like all genres of music, and we try it. And if the whole band vibes it and we feel good about it, then we move forward with it. If something's still like off, even a few gems in, it's like we got to go back and rework it until everybody's like, yeah, that's it.
all right, that's better. Right? Like as Julian said though, like it's hard for him to come in as an outsider in that sense, but yet he's a fan of the music, so he adapted and picked up that vibe very quickly. It seems like the whole band has that sense about you guys. Like every
Mhm.
Yeah.
song, like I haven't skipped a single song since I put you guys on my playlist. And then even tonight,
that's awesome.
getting ready, trying to shower, get home, I'm doing dishes. I'm like, fuck,
Yeah.
I gotta hear
Awesome.
more, like.
Thank you.
But
Yeah.
Yeah.
to have that diversity from tonight, I heard the fight. That's one of your
Mhm.
Oh
songs
yeah.
there. For the first
Mhm.
time, I was in the shower and my speaker died as soon as the song was over. I was like, what the fuck? This way my day's been going, right? But
Yeah.
the other night, I think it was last night, I was out with the neighbor. We were just having a beer and a smoke and
Mhm.
showing each other music is kind of our thing when we're chilling together. She showed me some stuff, but I played Choke by you
Mm.
guys. And
Oh yeah.
as
Yeah.
you said earlier, that emotional ride that you get, that
Mhm.
fight song that pumps you up, and then Choke comes on, and it's like
Yeah.
you don't come down, but it's a different emotional high. It's a different
Yeah.
emotion that comes to life when you hear that song. Like,
For
and I
sure.
gather it's almost as you said, it comes from everybody. So that's
Yeah.
probably why it's so passionate and so emotional because everyone is a part. Everyone puts a little piece of
Yeah.
themselves into that song, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And like coming from like the lyrics and the vocals, like the human element to our music is literally, like giving voice to our human experience. And it has emotional roller coasters, like sometimes we do need to fight for what we believe in. The fight isn't specifically about the fight that it takes to be a musician in the music industry and like have longevity with it, because nobody's going to fight for you but yourself. Hopefully eventually the fans start to really rally around you, and we get people that are like, yo, you got to check them out, like that's how you build. But really in the beginning, it's like the five of us in our case are like fighting through the bar scene to, you know what I mean, like make any progress.
Yeah.
And then choke is really, like is more of like that quiet but like introspective, just like element that we all have to go through, which is, like doing things that we know we shouldn't be doing, hating ourselves for it because we haven't acted out of our higher interest or the best interest of others. And like it's like that concept of like just like knowing you just did the wrong thing but continuing to do it over again. We choke on our own
every time I have a cigarette, I've actually lit a smoke, and then they just shot come on, and then it was like, I'm looking at my smoke every time listening to this dude last night. I'm like, oh, mother, fucking throw that away, or you know what I mean?
That's so funny. Well, I'm glad that it can speak to you. And you know what, choke holds a special place in my heart. It's actually funny that you mention it because like, just for whatever reason, like I really don't ever listen to our music, and a lot of bands don't. Like we tend to like write and record it. And then like,
I find that a lot of people don't listen to their own shit. They listen to other people. Right. And
we're on to the next. But for whatever reason, I actually just in one of my videos, I put choke on, like during one of my photos on Instagram or whatever, I put choke as the song, and it had me re-listen to that whole song again. And I was just like, it just hit me. I was like, yeah.
Like, still gets you, right? Like,
yeah, because it just takes me right back to like, like just the raw, like where we can go in our lives. And like sometimes we get out of that phase and we're good for a bit, and then boom, it's like we can just sink right back into it because of X, Y, and Z, or whatever.
Well,
so
that rope's always there to pull you down a bit, you know what I mean? Like sometimes it pulls you up, sometimes too fast, and you choke going up too fast. It's not always falling down that hurts us, man. Sometimes it's fucking reaching the top and reaching that peak. It's
you're right.
It's like, oh fuck. Right, like
big time. Yeah.
So with musically though, we'll start at the top here, baby. And how did you guys get into music? I'm always curious because some people are classically, they've been trained, whether it's jazz or blues. Our last guest, we had difficulty with getting the stream up, but Wade, the guy's all the way from Australia, huge jazz guy, famous family. He's from, like, I can't believe the video didn't work. So we're having him back on in a couple weeks, and the bass player is coming back on. But they played with like fucking Ozzy back when Randy Rose was alive and shit. Like,
really? Wow.
Either way, but yeah. But I'm always curious on how you guys got into music, and how did you learn to play guitar, or say learn the vocals? Because you can't just scream out vocals and expect to keep singing for 10 years or 15 years, 20 years, depending on your career, right?
Right. Yeah.
Even guitar, your hands.
I'll let you guys take it away first.
Okay. I guess I'll start. Well, I've been pretty much playing music since I was like 15 years old, in high school, and that was during a time when both pop punk and new metal was like at its like highest peak. Like, back in the day, and I just wanted to just kind of like be like the other bands and try to learn. Hey, it's like, this sounds pretty cool. I want to learn how to play like music. And my first, one of my first lead riffs I ever learned on guitar was "Last Resort" by Papa Roach.
No way! I know that was technically one of the last songs I played with the guys when I was last in a full-on band and everything. That was one we did at the bar all the time. Yeah, that was one of our last songs, like cover tunes we learned and then played for our last set we ever played together, and then it was done. Right? Go on. Sorry, man. I didn't mean to like.
Okay, yeah. No, it's all good. Yeah. Actually, funny enough, they're still going hard right now, Papa Roach.
They are, man.
Yeah, still doing it live after all these years, and they've been a band for longer than we have. And one of my few inspirations, and then I just like kind of like grown up about. I used to actually play traditionally as learned the piano as a kid, but then I decided I just wanted to just be in a rock band. So I was in a couple of like high school bands growing up. even throughout college, and then just halfway through, after I was like, in my mid-20s, that's when I was jamming with the older members of Polarity at the time, even though before we were named Polarity, and then we decided, hey, let's start a band, and we were just looking for a singer, and oddly enough, I still tell this story. Everyone's finding this amazing because at the time, oddly enough, when we were first jamming and we were looking for a vocalist, we're like, we should find a female vocalist, because we started listening to a band called Flyleaf, and we were getting huge into them. We're like, wow, this band is awesome.
Man.
Yeah, we're like, imagine if we ever found like a female singer. And then, lo and behold, we met Jasmine, and we're like, oh, this is cool. Yeah, and then the rest is kind of just history. Yeah, I mean, she came up with the name Polarity, and then we loved it, and we just kind of ran with it, and we started just writing new tunes together for the first time, kind of feeling each other out, and and it worked. It's been working ever since. Yeah.
Also, I was gonna say, Flyleaf. I seen them play. They played after Five Finger Death Punch when I seen them.
Oh yeah.
The guys from Five Finger, Ivan and them, we had like a 10-15 minute conversation. They were selling their own merch at that time.
Oh really?
Yeah, yeah. It was my friend's sister. She turned 18, and me and my sister, her old man, a couple other people had an extra ticket, so we fucking dragged her along. Yeah, it was like Evanescence played, Flyleaf, Five Finger, Hell Yeah played, because I remember James was a huge Pantera fan, but you couldn't get in the lineup for the autographs unless you had Hell Yeah merch. But he had the Pantera shirt, so they let him in. He got it signed and shit. And I got to meet Chad later on when he did the Hell Yeah final tour for the Vinnie Paul tribute and stuff, right?
Oh, okay.
Fucking. Anyways, I don't mean to interrupt. You guys are
no
question from me, right?
All good.
I'll let Sheldon take it away for the for how he got into playing the guitar. If you still want to continue on that, yeah.
Yeah. Wow. My journey is definitely an interesting one, but to cut it, long story short, I too was trained. I started playing piano probably at like 4 or 5 years old, and then I did like RCM, which is the Royal Conservatory of Music and stuff. Did piano, and then played a lot of jazz drums and prog drums. Those were like the big two things in high school, like from the time I was a kid. So I was a drummer before I was a guitar player, and then I remember watching like this DVD of the Eagles farewell, like in Australia. They played Hotel California, and I fell in love with the solo. Like I always knew the song, like from growing up and whatever. But like for some reason that something clicked. I'm like, I need to learn that. Yeah, I need to learn that, and I need to learn it on guitar. I never played guitar until then, and that was probably like 15 or 16 years old. But like because having a musical background, it kind of came easier to me. And then from there, like I just went on, before even learning like chords, riffs, any of that stuff. Lead playing was like all I was addicted to. So like I just chased like the next guitar player that like I wanted to learn their techniques, whether it was like Eric Johnson or John Petrucci or whatever. And then I just fell in love with prog rock, and that's kind of my home base is like prog rock and jazz. Like that's kind of where I'd like to think I'm strongest in. And yeah, so ever since then, I was into 7-string guitars and 8-string guitars and extended range and all that kind of stuff. And I'm still, I still like playing drums. Yeah, I still play piano. Like all that stuff is still. I have one right here.
Well, I was gonna ask, do you still like revert back to like a piano riff where you just go?
Oh yeah, all the time.
You know what I mean? Like,
definitely. Yeah.
Takes you back, right? Like
for sure. I still love it. It's still my favorite instrument. It's just not the one I'm best at. I prefer piano. Yeah. I think it's the nicest instrument. But
I love it. I love going to like airports and ripping out the fucking was it The Lion Sleeps Tonight? It's the only song I know all the way through. All right.
Yeah, no, it's so yeah, I've just been surrounded by even my parents were musicians and stuff like that. We had all instruments in the house growing up, so I was always surrounded by it. It was just a part of life. So which I'm very fortunate for. So and now it's carried on to this. I was looking for a band to join. I saw their ad online for Polarity. I checked them out, and a couple of my friends had heard of them too, like before I had. They're like, "Oh yeah, like I know that band and stuff like that in our area." And then I tried out, and then you know, had this audition or whatever you want to call it, sat with Michael, just him and I. We just played some riffs, stuff like that, learned some of their songs. And then we jammed as a band, like, you know, because they were missing a guitar player. So then I got to audition as with the full band, not just Michael. And yeah, I've been there since. So.
And then that's like
That's
such like
amazing,
that's kind of
man.
like
I love it.
that's like a good tip for like bands that are like auditioning, you know, like if you're kind of in the auditioning cycle, like say if you've been established, you know, for a while, you know, because we had been bringing people in, you know, for like a full band jam. And, you know, as a kudos to, you know, again, the guys in the band, it's like, you know, our music is a little bit more technical and a little bit more difficult to play. So if you actually haven't taken the time to like learn it, or, you know what I mean, to like understand it a little bit, then, you know, you end up wasting. It's like maybe like going on a date with somebody that you know immediately. You're like, shit, now I'm going to sit here for 2 hours, you know? So
You're being as fast as possible.
yeah, our technique for auditioning, you know, thanks to Mike, was that like, you know, as the other guitar player, it was important that he sussed out whether their levels were kind of like up to par, whether they could play the songs, and even more importantly, whether they vibed, you know, because as the two guitar players, it's like that's so important that there's that chemistry there, you know, because again, they're both amazing lead players. They both need to be able to switch off and change the rhythm and like inspire each other. So when Mike was like, yeah, you know what, Sheldon would be awesome to bring in to jam, he's like, this guy can do it. We brought him in, and not only could he play the songs that, you know, we had written, but then we also have the element of like, let's just open jam. Let's do something improvisational, or hey, we're working on this, like just like try adding your own thing to it, you know, because that's like such a huge element to like coming into a musical project that is original, is we need you to be able to, yeah, like not only, you know, vibe what we're creating now that you don't know, but yeah, like how can you add to it and or suggest directions or suggest, you know, ways to go. So that was such an amazing process for Sheldon to come into and you know, just nail right away. And as soon as we had a jam with him, we're like, yep, bring him back.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then I'll just basically very quickly, loved to sing all my life, was in choirs growing up, did my own private voice lessons. Then like in high school, kind of went like the musical theater route, because I thought like that was really where I was going to excel on stage, singing, kind of like really getting my feet wet, even in singing in front of people, because I had like terrible stage fright. Even to this day, I'm not like super comfortable. The guys in my band all know that like, before a show, I just kind of need my own space. I get into my own zone, you know, doing my warm-ups or whatever. So that was really where I like, you know, kind of got over like crying before getting out onto the stage, you know, and like, you know, some days I still feel like I'm going to vomit, you know, ahead of time. But like that time it was just like, oh my God, you know, like I can't do this, but I have to. And then, when I was, you know, in university, there was a guy that was wearing a Deftones t-shirt. I was like, I love that band. He's like, do you want to start a band? And I was just like, what? You know, didn't know you could do that. But it was amazing when I did. You know, like it never occurred to me to start and be in a band. But once I started writing my own, you know, vocals and, you know, expressing myself that way, that was like when I was like, yeah, like this is definitely the new direction for my musical, you know, career. I knew that singing and like performing was something that like I was meant to be doing. Like there was like a deep soul calling there where it was like, just didn't know how to express itself. And then, once Mike and I connected and we started writing, I had been through a bunch of other bands myself that were just, you know, they kind of reach up like a point where you're like, hey, this isn't working anymore. People are going in different directions. So if you're serious about it, you always have to keep finding the right people. You know, that's part of, you know, the struggle of being a musician, is actually finding, you know, in our case, 5 people that are compatible to make 5 different waves that actually sound great together. You know, that's huge. So like Mike said, the rest was kind of history.
Well, right now you guys have found it for sure, man. Hopefully it sticks, because you guys are fantastic. I can't tell you, like, I don't know, August, my aunt just recently died. I'm on Roxy's 2nd year anniversary since she passed away on me. It's like the music is what brought me back. You guys are only my 2nd interview back in like 3 months, where I was just like, you know what I mean? So yeah, I appreciate it, man. Like, yeah, I can't tell you how much music has saved my life over the years. I know everyone that watches, fucking same deal, man. To be independent like you guys are, it just your passion comes through in the music. You're not in it just for cash and fucking look at me. I'm a singer. Oh, look at me play this riff. You know, and that helps so many people, man. You guys should be proud of what you guys are doing for sure.
Thank you, Bones. That means the world. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you, man. Fuck. You know what I mean? Like, appreciate it.
You know, you don't often get like kind of like, you know, that really that heartfelt expression, you know, but when somebody actually legitimately says, you know, like your music is like getting me through a hard time, it's like that's really what it's there for. You know, one of our songs is called Death of a Song, and it's about, you know, the death of like a song being something sacred, the death of music, you know, really being something that could, you know, help lift you up through your dark times, or just be there with you while you're experiencing the dark time, you know. And that's really, again, what we try to express. It's like music is power, music is vulnerability, music is anger, music is sadness, music is love, music is everything. It is the human emotion. So, you know, to have you be able to say like, you know, music is really what brought me back. And like, you know, when I'm listening to, you know, your music, or, you know, a band that really speaks to you, it's like, wow, you know, like, because we don't feel that in our every single day lives, but when somebody comes to us, or our fans come to us and they say that type of thing, it's just like, cool, onwards, you know, we keep going, we keep persevering, we keep writing.
You guys are just at band practice, you know, you make the albums, you throw it out there, and there's never, until you're like, say, on that tour bus in that stadium, there's never that final, say, we made it, baby. You know, like, at what point obviously you guys have made it, you know, like, but at what point do you guys think, okay, we are a fucking rock band, or we are a very successful band? When would that point come for, or did it already come for you guys?
Like, I guess it's kind of hard to say because different,
right?
I guess different relative descriptions of success. I mean, like, even the fact that we've still been together after all this time, like, you know, we've had like, you know, like members that have come and go, and the fact that our music is like progressed as it is, I think that in itself is a success. And but it's ongoing though. We just keep going, and we keep growing, and we keep evolving. And I mean, the fact that, you know, like people that come to us, like yourself, like, you know, have come to us and said, hey, I love your music, and, you know, it's very inspiring, and people that, you know, come all the time, especially a lot of people that kind of consistently see us, and like, that's a success on its own, and just being grateful for that.
I can't believe like, being from Ontario, I haven't seen you guys play live. Like, my buddy Boog there, he probably has. You'll see him in July when you guys play. He comes to all of our stuff too. But him and I, we went to like 75 shows one year, and I just haven't. He just come in August. That's his birthday, which I didn't even fucking know. So I was like, I got every band. Hey, give this guy a fucking birthday wish, you know, little bastard. I didn't know it was his birthday or what. Either way, fucking, he went to 105 shows this year already. And it's only September, October now, right? Almost October. That guy is the king of supporting local music, local bands. He goes to all the big shows too, right? But 90% of the time we were hitting local bands, hitting these bars, those bars, like fucking fantastic, man. Like, you'll meet him in July next year.
And like shout out to him, because every band needs that. You know, like with the true music lovers that actually get out and support on a Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, like it doesn't matter the night, it doesn't matter the time. You know, honestly, like those are like the really true hardcore people, where it's like, you know, musicians that struggle away. We struggle away in the basement. We're jamming, you know, we're putting in, you know, 98% of the work before we step up on the stage. So it's like to have those people show up, you know, when we do step on the stage and genuinely love it. It's like, wow, that's everything. That's everything to a band.
Yeah. Well, I agree with stage performance. I could care less if you gave me a fucking cassette tape and I listened to it. Doesn't matter, man. That riff still comes through regardless. When I see you live, it better just blow your CD, you better blow your tape or whatever you have away, man. Like, live music is just essential. And so many bands have let me down, but yet so many bands have just propped me back up, you know. So it's so good to hear you guys practice so much to have that live performance, right? Like, A
And
lot
I
of
think-
bands forget that. They just come out and say, "Oh, sorry," in their t-shirts and their fucking jeans, like they just got off work. Fuck off, man. You know, like,
and
come on, no.
that's the danger of not taking it seriously. You know, and that's also the danger of, you know, maybe just being particularly a studio band where you just write to go into the studio to record some music, but you're not actively honing in on your chemistry of five people in a room. You know, and I'd say that's, you know, kind of rounding out to like the success question that you asked us, you know, what is success to us? Like one of the things that I define as success is like I personally feel like when we step into a venue, as the five of us, as Polarity, when we're all there, like I never have any doubt in my mind that we're gonna rock the set. You know, like I know no matter what, we've practiced for it. We all know our parts. Like there's gonna be glitches, there's gonna be things that, you know, like come up. I mean, it's just that's live music though. That's kind of the beauty of it, is that, you know, we don't have 35 backing tracks and you're not gonna ever find me lip syncing. You know, like sometimes I've seen bands where I'm literally like, you're not playing your instrument. You know, like it's bizarre now how it can be so digital.
Yeah.
But big up. There's Andrew.
That's
big
Andrew.
up to Andrew. Yeah, big up to Andrew.
He's our
But
bass player.
yeah,
He's probably trying to join in, I think.
yeah. But
I could
that's one of
check
the
if he
measures of
is.
success to me, is that like we step up on the stage and we
not
know
yet.
what we're doing.
Mhm.
And we're confident in it. Sheldon, do you want to speak to that?
Yeah, it's so interesting. I mean, I guess like success as a band. I mean, personally, before I joined, I already thought they were successful. So you know that's before I stepped into this, and even after, like nothing has changed as far as that goes. Like I listened to, especially, I mean, personally, that Action Potential album I thought was unreal, right? And like I was like, wow, like
I'm with you.
yeah, I was like, this is unreal. And like I can't believe they're 15 minutes away from where I live, and you know, like all these kind of things popped up. I'm like, what is this, right? This is like everything about it was like what I like to hear and what I wanted to hear. So that was being outside of it, and then being inside of it, just seeing how easygoing everything is.
It's almost surreal, surreal, I guess is how you
Yeah.
say that.
Yeah.
In that sense, you kind of just,
like, you know, on a personal level, like I've, outside of, you know, like you mentioned, like playing stadiums and touring worldwide and stuff like that, my sort of personal definition of success has been met within the context of a band and who I am as a guitar player. You know, like as a musician, I feel like I've gotten to a place where I could safely say, like, I think I'm a good guitar player. You know, that like, and that to me is what matters. Like, how good am I as a musician? How good am I as a collaborator? You know, as a person. So in that sense, I feel like I've met that definition. But then when you look at metrics and all this other, the quantitative stuff, that I don't really care for it. Sometimes I was like, wow, our Spotify numbers actually blew my mind. Like sometimes we had 20,000 listeners in a month. I was like, how did this happen? Right. Like I'm so grateful for that. And just having
just over or just under 10,000 or whatever. Plus,
yeah,
every time I click on a song, your views on the song outweigh your followers. It's like, why are they clicking here? But
that and just people coming to multiple Polarity shows. That is a huge one to me. When they come up and like I recognize, I was like, wow. And like I'll make any effort to say, hey, what's up? Thank you so much for coming out and all that stuff. But just the fact that they took time and money and whatever else it took to get there, not just one time, but like multiple times, even for the ones that come once, that's great. But it's just so cool to watch someone wanting to support us as much as they do.
People don't drive, so you got to hit all those little towns in that sense for them to actually see you live. Whether you play for 3 people or 50 people or 200 people.
I remember, I think,
50,000. Like,
I think in London we had someone come from the States or something like that. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
London, Ontario, and then someone drove from the state. I was like, holy crap! Like that to me is like I feel amazing.
We made
I've
it.
reached,
That's how I would look at it. I'd be
honestly,
like, I made it, baby.
That in itself is such a, even like you just reaching out to interview us, right? That kind of thing. It's such a cool feeling. So.
Oh no, your music came across my list a while back, as we were saying. About a year ago, we reached out, and then we get inundated, the emails and everything, just so much. And then just recently, as I said, your music came on and helped me to text Hollywood. I'm like, get a fucking hold of these guys. I need to talk to them. You know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
for
Like,
sure.
I need them on the show. It's so hard not to fanboy too, talking to you guys. Like, it's unreal to like hear your music and then say watch your interviews, or like, and then watch your videos and stuff on YouTube and all this shit, and then to sit here and actually talk to you guys. That's just blows my mind every time it happens.
That's
Like,
really cool.
I
Yeah,
appreciate
that's
it though. Like, it's the least I could do to give back is give you guys a platform to, whether it's one person or 500 people. Here's
Yeah.
new fans at least, right? Like,
Yeah. No, we
And
appreciate it.
and
Thank you.
I think that continues on into, you know, what it means to actually be a successful band, you know, because like to,
mhm.
you know, to hear like, oh yeah, like we've heard of you or we saw you then. Like I was in Shediac, New Brunswick this summer, and a girl came up to me there and said, "Are you Jasmine?" And I was just like, that just kind of blew my brain. Like she knew the
Yeah,
band.
how do
She
you
had
know
seen us.
me, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like she literally came
Yeah.
up, she was staring at me for a while, and then she came up and she's like, "Are you Jasmine?" I was like, "Yeah." And then she's like, "Yeah, like I saw Polarity." Like she knew. So to me, again, like those things, even like, you know, when Mike and I have been out to shows or other people have been out to
Mhm.
shows and people come up to you and they're like, "Oh, we love Polarity." You know, and you're there to see some other band, you know, and they're coming up and like they want to take a photo with you. It's like that stuff totally blows my brain because like I don't really think of myself as in Polarity when I'm out at shows, but the fact that
Mhm.
other people are now really starting that recognition to say like, wow, yeah, like we love your music. It's like, that's crazy. I just got actually a message on Instagram just right before this interview. Mike, it was Joey from The Trip, which was a band that we played with.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
like 12 years ago, which was like, shout out to him. But he literally sent me a photo of a car with a Polarity bumper sticker on it.
Oh, that's awesome.
No
Yeah.
way. That's so cool, man.
Yeah.
So,
Right. And I was just like,
speaking
yeah.
of
And I
bumper
was just like,
stickers,
yeah. Well, we have stickers and people put them on their cars. So it's like the odd time we'll get, you know, photos from random people. Like, again, Joey and I have not chatted in years, but there he was out and about and somebody had a Polarity bumper sticker on their car, you know, and it's just like, those things are kind of blowing my brain.
That's so cool.
That actually
Yeah.
reminds me of a what's it called? When I think a show we did either in like 2020 or something like that. But
Yeah.
it was like we were playing, and I remember seeing my buddy's sister just walked in, and this is someone like I never talked to his sister, like, but she was there. We went to high school together and stuff, and I was like, oh, like, what are you doing here? She's like, oh yeah, we're here to see Polarity, and I'm like, what? And then like 4 of them
No
walked in,
way.
and they all had Polarity sweaters on. They didn't know I was in the band at the time because
Yeah.
I was new, right? Like I had just joined.
just play it off. Ah.
Yeah. I was like, oh, okay. And but the fact that they had the merch on, that was like my first. I was like, whoa, like this is bigger than I think, like bigger than I thought it was going to be, kind of thing. Right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
It's a funny story.
Yeah, that's
That's so cool though. Like to hear that, and as the band and stuff, even to see, I'll be out in public and I'll see a Boneyard sticker stuck in a urinal. I didn't put it there. So somebody bought my sticker and stuck it in this urinal. It's always like a humbling feeling in that sense.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like,
There's some
Yeah.
impact being made, right?
yeah.
a big impact. And maybe just to like, you know, to kind of future project into like what it means to actually go into the next arena for us. Like really, what would that mean?
Mhm.
It would actually mean, you know, having a bigger band that has success, take us under their wing and take us on tour. You know, like that's what we need. We need consistently bigger audiences to perform in front of.
Mhm.
We've been hustling the one-off shows for, you know, 10 plus years now. So it's like to actually get, you know, a bigger band, Alexis on Fire, 3 Days Grace, Billy Talent, like one of the Canadian bands
Yeah,
to
I
actually
was
like
gonna
look
say
at us.
Billy Talent's Canadian, right?
Well, yeah, and like
Finger
actually
11's
like, you
on
know,
tour.
yeah,
Our
for
Lady
any of,
Peace, right?
sorry?
Our Lady
Sorry.
Peace.
No, Our Lady Peace. They're also Canadian, no?
Yeah. Yeah.
There's so many amazing.
Okay. I was like, oh fuck. Right.
There's so many
Go ahead.
amazing Canadian bands out there, you know, that, you know, really get the opportunities that actually bring them to the level where then they're making money from their music. Like what a blessing,
Mhm.
you know. To me, one of the
Yeah.
blessings would be to actually see the world through music, to be able to travel and maybe like to have that, like, you know, like sustain itself. Like luckily our band is sustaining itself, which is a beauty. But then, you know, if you're
Mhm.
doing Europe, if you're doing any other country, and, you know, to be able to see the world through music, that would be definitely next level. or to have, like a bigger band really take us under their wing and say, hey, we want you to come on, these 7 shows that we're doing
The
across
whole
Canada.
tour.
Or whatever, like just any of those opportunities, step by step. It's like, that's where we're at. We're ready for that type of opportunity. But in the meantime, we're writing a new album. So that's our focus.
Mhm.
That's where we're at. You're going to be hearing new music coming from us. So until we, we get that.
Personally can't wait, man. I'm so excited. Hopefully you can send it to me before you send it to anybody. I won't post or share or fucking just be for me.
Nice try,
right?
nice try.
Right.
Insider knowledge.
Yeah. I get so much of that. It's so amazing though. Like I can't believe I'm in a position where I get to talk to these bands that have progressed and the evolution of music has made me who I am, and then to be able to sit down and talk to the bands and the members of these bands that have influenced my life and made me who I am is fucking blows my mind. So the least I can do, if you send me stuff, don't worry, I won't share it. I'll wait. But I always love hearing stuff early, man. It's so fun.
Awesome.
So what's in the future for the rest of the year? Are you guys just working on the album and stuff, or are you guys gonna be playing here soon? You guys got any shows coming up?
We don't have any future shows just lined up really in the near future just yet. I mean, there might be some talks about like definitely shows into the new year, like, and definitely into like, festival season. But for now, like Jasmine was saying, like our biggest focus right now is just like, again, we want to like work on the new album because like we have like new songs that are on the horizon. We're just ready to, bang them out into the studio and just to, again, just keep working, perfecting it, and kind of do the best that we can with the current lineup that we have right now. So and also because it's been a while.
I love to hear that though. Like so many people get together instantly and then they rush it, they push it, and then it never comes out right. It always fucking blows up in your face in that sense. So it's nice to see you guys are focused on the goal and you're not rushing it, but yet you're still pushing to get it out. Like that.
For sure. It's all about the quality right now. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And our motto has always been quality over quantity. That's why we're not, you don't see us posting, what we're eating for breakfast on our social media. Or
I love
like that.
you guys don't though, man.
Thank you.
My
That's
fucking
good.
sister, I don't even go on my personal Facebook. I haven't been on it in a year. And if it wasn't for the Boneyard, I wouldn't even have a personal Facebook because I can't have this page without that. And everyone's, oh, you didn't see this or that. Well, I don't even fucking give a fuck about that side of it. Like, I don't care if you're eating a sandwich or at the fucking mall. Don't give a shit. What's your new song? I want to hear your music. I want to hear when's your next concert? When's your next show? Can I make it? What's going on?
And we're fortunate in our band that none of our members are egomaniacs that want any of that attention.
Right.
I think that there's there is an unfortunate epidemic of narcissistic self-absorption right now, which we all need to round back to what's important. Like, how are you being creative in your life? How are you being kind? How are you progressing? The things that you want to actually do, like to your credit, Bones, like actually doing something, that speaks to people, that it infuses you with passion, that those are the really important things. So for us, like with our music and our social media, it is something that we do need to do, but you'll see photos of us on stage when we were performing, or you'll see like shout outs to interviews where people can actually get to learn the insider information about the music. Of course there's little bits and bobs about us, or like Sheldon's new guitars that he's got, or but that's all like band related stuff, right? Like that's important stuff to us. So those are
even the fans want to know what guitar you guys are playing, or what cymbals you're using. What mic do you sing out of? They want to know this because myself, we mentioned Tool earlier backstage and shit. That one of my biggest influences when it comes to me playing my guitar is Tool and the precision and that quality of it. Like we always suck that in, and it always comes back out in our music. As you said, Perfect Circle.
So shout out, well,
Pacifier,
just to give you a little tidbit on Tool, which is really crazy, is like we worked with David Bottrell on Action Potential. David Bottrell produced Enema and Lateralis for Tool, right? So like those are some, he's a massive Canadian producer that had learned about us and took us under his wing. And, you know, like he still watches our stories to this day. Like we're still chill with him, you know, which is amazing. But like my favorite thing ever is when he brought the microphone that Maynard sang into.
What an honor.
Yeah, like literally, he's like, yeah, this is the microphone that Maynard used to record like Opiate. I was just like, I was like, what? I'm sorry, is this like Maynard recorded through this microphone and now I'm about to record through it? And then I literally like licked the microphone. Just
yeah, I would have too, man. Not to be gay, but yeah, I would have licked that shit right up. That guy's amazing, though. Like even the whole band in general, the way they produce stuff. And what we waited 13 years for the new album,
and it's always worth the wait.
Everybody out of the water. People were like, "Who the fuck's Tool?" Well, too bad for you, right? Like you missed the boat.
And that's why bands can't let fans rush the process. Bands can't let external pressure rush their process, you know, because to us, like, Action Potential took 3 years just to record, not even let alone actually write the songs for, you know, like that was a huge album. And even, you know, to this day, it's like, we started working on these songs, I don't know how many years ago, probably like 4 to 5, like Sheldon, like since you came into the band, like these are new songs that, you know, take time to develop because we're not just, you know, trying to rush creating something that is timeless.
And you're not having other people write your shit and saying, this is your music. And then they pump it on the radio. That shit just you know, it's like, fans like yourself and Dead Man's Prophecy. I'm actually wearing a Deadwood shirt underneath this, all local Montreal bands. And,
okay.
Like, you guys, your voice reminds me of Charlotte from FX May Vary, which is a local Ontario band here.
Okay.
She actually came to Montreal when we partied. I was promoting with Dead Man's Prophecy. They won the Montreal music heavy metal off during COVID and shit. So because I was pushing, trying to get votes and whatever, they invited me up. So I brought like Charlotte, thinking, oh fuck, this is a great connection for you guys, right? My friend Amanda came up. They gave me a shirt, man. It's all like, it's like going out on a date. Like I would wear that shirt, right? It's got my bones across the thing, and then it's got my real name on the sleeve, and then like crew member and shit.
Cool.
They presented it to me while I was there. Oh, it was like brought a tear to my eye, man. Like, but they play my main shows now, like in Maine. This is their second year coming back for that festival, right? So
cool.
But as I said, we'll be in touch. You guys are definitely perfect for the August, July, and even September. Just come for all three.
Okay, yeah.
Right. Even if you don't perform, just come to the party, see how it goes down and shit. You know what I mean? Make sure it's a venue you guys would even want to play in that sense, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you for the invite. We're always down to play sweet parties. Good show.
Of course. Yeah, your food's covered, your campground's covered, right? Throw you some cash at the end of the night. Stay for the whole weekend.
It's like a good time.
Well, where is it in Ontario? Did you say Sudbury? I know that's where you are, but is that where
so you know where Dundalk, Ontario is?
Oh,
over by
Dundalk,
Orangeville?
Yeah.
You know Swinton Park then?
Yeah, not particularly, but I know where Dundalk is. Yeah.
Yeah, so if you go straight through Dundalk, it'll take you to Swinton Park, and then it's right there. But
that's not far at all.
No. Oh, this is awesome. I'm like 6 hours away now that I moved up here for work and shit, right? But what do you do,
cool.
right? I'm always there though.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool, man.
Let me grab a beer
in person one day.
Before I do grab a beer, this is something I haven't asked in a very long time, and I'll tell you the greatest answer ever, unless you guys have it at the end. But where would any fantasy anywhere in the world or the realm of the universes, where would you want to do a show on? like say the Death Star or like fucking Thor's bridge across the fucking universe, right?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I was going to say somewhere in outer space, but
I'm trying to think.
yeah.
I don't know. I think Budokan in Japan. I've always that
Yeah.
venue has made so many
Yeah.
crazy albums. Like
That's true.
there's so many of my bands that have had like a live at Budokan album, ranging from like the Beatles to like Cheap Trick to like Dream Theater. So I think that's
Theater,
probably
one of my faves. I like that.
Yeah, I'm a Dream Theater nut. That's
Yeah.
Everything I do is ripping off them. So
it's emulating. That's your inspiration and shit.
Paying
man.
homage.
That's supposed to be right.
Yeah.
I would say Wacken in Germany.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, huge.
Friends of
Like,
ours
yeah.
just covered it over in Stone Daisies when I was in South Africa there for a couple months or a month and a bit.
Yeah.
We went to Death Fest and shit, but they do the same thing I do, but they're out of South Africa, so we're always sharing each other's stuff up and stuff, right? And she just got the official, what is it, media invite to Wacken, so they just
nice.
So they're still editing all their footage, and then we'll share it up once it's all set up, right?
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. But
I guess I don't
of course.
like I want to say something insane too, like I don't know, like somewhere out in outer space on a ship, but like if we're talking like Earth, like I've always thought Red Rock Stadium would be like a crazy stadium to play. That one looks amazing.
Sick.
I've seen some Incubus concerts there, just in videos and other things, and I'm just like, that looks really cool.
Mine would be Mars, of course, right?
Yeah.
Nice. I actually got a tattoo right here. Fucking, that hurts so bad. So yeah, my whole arm's covered, like right through the armpit all the way.
Oh wow! Nice.
So my color is pretty well done from the elbow up now, and then I'm working the rest of the way down my arm. But the rest of my body's covered too, like my thighs and my chest is all done, my back, right? I ran out of room, so now I'm on my arms, right?
Nice.
But you guys have any crazy tattoos or like something you got all hammered up?
If you guys, I guess
he's like, I don't even have one. I don't even remember.
Ninja Turtles.
No way, bud. Fuck. What?
Yeah.
We're gonna talk later about Ninja Turtles.
Oh, nice. Okay, good.
Yeah, 100%, man.
Yeah, they're like a religion to me. So
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, none for me. I don't have any.
I think myself and Julian are the only ones that are tatted up in the band. So
I can't commit to. I actually have nightmares about getting tattoos, and maybe it's also too because I'm an artist and I just can't commit to something on my body. Like I know, like I won't like it in like a month.
Well, you know how your mind works. It changes all the time. You're always reevaluating the ideas and bringing new shit with that idea. So, you get a triangle. Oh, I should have got fucking this and that with it. Oh, I should have got. It wouldn't matter. You could cover it up, and then you'd want to cover it up again because you wanted something, right? Like,
I mean, I guess Bones, you could probably attest to this. Someone told me that after you get 1 or 2 tattoos, you're not going to want to stop ever. And I have 9, so I'm like, okay.
So I got my dragon on my back, which takes up like half my back for my first tat. That was my very first tat. And then I waited years, but then I got my chest, then I got my thigh. Then I got my Woodstock 99 tattoo, and then I have another tat here.
Nice.
And then I was like, fuck. And then I got my compass. I was like, I don't want to be that dude with just arm sleeves. Like, that's just funny to me, right? And then once I got my hand, I started getting the world tattooed up this arm. And then I was like, you know what? I want my space stuff. I want all the planets. I got Challenger 13. I got Roxy's eye in the middle of space, ripping out of the space and time itself to look, And I got the universe inside the universe comes off my shoulder and runs down because we don't know if it's a multiverse or are we
Who
living in a
knows?
singularity, string
Mhm.
theory, fucking, I could go on and on. It would
Mhm.
be a whole other show, you know. But
Cool.
they
Well, very
they mean,
thoughtful.
I just find it funny. Some people just get stupid shit on them for no reason, just to have a tattoo. And I always kind of laugh at that, right? Or they say, I always laugh, just have my arms tattooed so everyone can see.
Yeah.
You know, the rest of my body was covered before I even started my arms. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
they're so personal to me. My tattoos, everything tells my story. My
I agree.
my life story is written on me right now. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah. No, totally agree. Yeah, for sure.
It's you can almost roll it right into the music, our music that we write, or the music we sing or listen to is part of our life story. As a kid, it was Weird Al. I know every fucking song by that guy, right?
Oh, really?
Then, oh yeah. All of a
What would be your
sudden,
favorite Weird Al song?
I like Beatles was one, and then he did the Amish song, Amish to Paradise or whatever.
Oh,
That was
yeah,
like,
that's a nice one. Yeah.
Classic.
even though, you know, like, and then, fuck. Then it got in, my buddy bought me a Motorhead CD for my birthday in like grade 8. And then it was over. Ace of Spades, baby.
Yeah. Classic.
Nice.
And then, you know, Jim Morris really took me when I was really sick there. I started getting into the Doors and stuff. And I have all his books. I have just got a new collaboration of all his writings. I don't even want to open it and crease it. It's so valuable to me, right? I have all their VHS stuff of all their concerts. A couple hand-drawn pictures of them and stuff, right? Like, oh, I got to see Robbie Krieger play with the Creed. They did a Doors tribute for 3 or 4 songs at Woodstock '99. That was fucking
That's
dream
cool.
come true, right? Like, got to see James Brown. That was awesome. I can go on and on. I don't want to like.
It's okay. Yeah.
It was about you guys, man. It's not about me and my stuff. You know.
Worries, no worries.
Bones, I'm gonna head off just because like my phone's literally at 15% battery. But if you have another question for me or anything in particular, like just direct it towards me. Like, what is it? And then I will bid my piece to you and thank you for the opportunity to chat with everybody.
So my last question to you: when you're writing your lyrics, how do you even get into the zone to write? Like, does it just come to you? Are you at work and then you just fucking write shit down while you're working, or?
You know, I've been a lifelong journaler, or like, so I've always have, you know, a journal with me, and you know, I'm always formulating different, you know, emotions or processing emotions, processing events in my life, coming up with concepts for songs. And I put them all in my journal, but I would really honestly say every song is a totally different process. Some of them, I know right away what I want to say and how I want to say it, just based on maybe a poem that I'd written in my journal. For example, a song like our song, The Dichotomy, for whatever reason, it just, boom, it just flowed. It was already written in there, and I was able to just put melody to a song that the guys had worked on. Death of a Song was a concept that I came to the guys with. I said, like, I want to write a song that literally dies with the heartbeat at the end flatlining, you know, how the song has actually become something that we've sort of killed. So conceptually, there are songs that I write ahead of time that then, you know, I bring to the guys. Keys of Valor is another song that conceptually I was like, you know, this is about a friend of mine that I went to high school with that had a 1% chance of survival after his, you know, brigade got exploded by a roadside bomb, and, you know, he beat the odds. So that one, I already knew what I wanted to write. And then there's, you know, musically, some songs, for example, Autonomy's Conquest, where it is just such a bizarre time signature for me. There's a lot going on that then I'm sitting and I'm showing up to the practice of like, what does this song want to say? You know, so I asked.
That was what I was going to ask about. That was one that really hit me as well. Sort of take your battery time from you, but
no, not at all, not at all.
That song, that was one of the last songs I heard before you guys started piling in backstage and shit, man. And I'm gonna spend the rest of the night having a few beers and listening and making sure I get it cover all your songs. You know what I mean? You guys are fantastic.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, And you know, I think that it's just important that, like, you know, you're not really rigid if anybody's creating something. You can't, maybe some people's process is very rigid, but you know, ours is a little bit more
Hmm.
fluid, where it's like, you know, not every single, for me, lyrically or vocally, you know, will I know right away. Sometimes it's sticking really to it. Autonomy's Conquest, like that was one of those ones where, yeah, it was just, it was hard. I could not write for it. I spent, you know, weeks trying to, and then
Hmm.
finally it was like the concept of like overcoming the fear, the concept of being like this autonomous being that like I can do what I need to in my life, which at that point was like write that song, but it translated into so much more, you know, again with just like the human experience and
Hmm.
expression of that. But so yeah, everyone is different, but it really all comes from ultimately a very quiet place, a journal in my room, my own personal and private thoughts. And that's something that Sheldon had mentioned we should do, is start posting my journal pages online. And I think we will, like, I will do that. I'm down to do that. So people can
Kind of
actually see
do.
the visual process of the
Mhm.
lyrics, of how they
Yeah.
started versus where they went.
Yeah.
That's when Hollywood got me that last year. I think it was for Christmas. The Jim Morris. It's just all his writings and collaborations and pictures of his writings and shit.
Hmm.
That means so much to me, man. You should do
Yeah.
something like that for your fans and the people that relate. Like, even if you take the heavy death metal I love,
Hmm.
and you take all that away and just read the lyrics with nobody screaming them or anything, just
Hmm.
in your head, they're so
Hmm.
powerful, man. And then that riff that comes in with it, that bass line, you know, it's like, oh my god, I can't take no more. Right? Like,
Love it. Love it.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, for
Well,
sure.
thank you for that encouragement, because I think, yeah, you know, it's something that's sort of private to people that are journalers, you
Hmm.
know, or that, you know, it becomes a very private space of like, nobody look in this little book, because it holds all of
Yeah.
my everything, you know, that I
Yeah.
don't particularly say to people. But you know, there is power in being vulnerable, and I think that is the plight of the artist. The plight of any band is like, we stand up
But
there to be judged, you
to
know,
take
really
those
ultimately.
writings in that sense, or your thoughts, and put them out there,
Hmm.
that
Hmm.
takes so much encouragement. Like, that takes so much uh, how do you, bravery in that sense, to bring your thoughts forward, whether it's a guitar riff or a drum
Hmm.
riff or your
Hmm.
lyrics.
Hmm.
Just to even do that and say to somebody, "Hey, what do you think of this?" You
Yeah.
know, for that all that fear and anxiety and everything. When you finally
Yeah.
put it out there and you realize, "Hey, I'm good at this,"
Yeah.
it still never goes away. It's always there in the background. But does it ever get any easier to
And I think sometimes not caring whether other people think you're good is really important as well. You
Hmm.
know, like
Mhm.
really, again, like just being true to yourself. But if you do want to, you know, really, like, you know, evolve, take it seriously. You know, you do need to practice. You do need to actually have some understanding of your fretboard and your fingers and where they're going and how composition works and what works with what. So really, you know, committing to the art of learning your instrument, your voice, your song, your writing, like always expanding, being a student of
Mhm.
the music is so important, because then it really, other people's opinions of you doesn't matter, you know, because you're doing, you know,
Yeah.
it's
Mhm.
ego when somebody gets on stage and, you know, can, you know, play their three chords and says like, I'm going to be the best musician in the world. You're like,
All
cool.
right
You
then.
know, like,
Yeah.
or
Good luck
whatever, like,
then.
you know, we've
Right.
all kind of seen those people, those musicians, those
Of
bands where it's
course.
like, we can tell, like, you know, you got a lot of work to do before, you know, that would even be a thing for you. But if you think that, cool, you can just keep playing in your garage, because that's where you're going to end up. You know,
Yeah.
but
No, it's such a harsh fucking business to even think about going in, man. It's the only business where your rent's due every motherfucking day. Like,
yeah.
you miss
Yeah.
5 days, people forget about you, man. Oh, you
Yep.
know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's so harsh. It's such a emotionally and physically draining business. To see that you guys still have that passion, to still have that drive to be this excited about your music, it just
Yeah.
helps me just love the music even more in that sense. You know what I mean? Like, you
Thank
see all
you.
these bigger bands, you know they fucking hate each other. You know they don't even
Yeah.
record in the studio together. It's all fake fucking music, man. You
Mhm.
know, but
Yeah.
bands like yourselves, Dead Man's Props, Late Night Trouble's coming out with stuff here real soon. Another band like.
We
There's
played
so
with
many
Late
good-
Night Trouble. We
Yeah,
know
they
Late
played
Night
Late
Trouble.
Night
Shout out
No
to
way.
them.
Yeah, in
They
Montreal,
played
right?
for us here
Yeah.
in July. They played our July festival, man, for us. They were
Nice.
headliners.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
man. Yeah.
Very cool. Shout out to them. Another cool female-fronted band. So that's
I was
always
gonna say, yeah,
amazing.
Roxanne and I would like to think we're very good, tight friends. We've been working together for years now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They played, I think, twice now for me here in Ontario, right?
Oh, nice.
So yeah. If ask them about the festival, see if they even liked it. You know,
Will do,
Don't
yeah.
even, you know, if you guys are on board for July, man, we'll send you the details regardless. Talk to them, make
please,
sure
yeah,
everything's
for
cool,
sure.
man, and yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, perfect,
Awesome.
man. I'm excited.
Thank you so much,
So,
Bones. Yeah,
is
yeah.
there anything else we should cover before all our phones die here? Or?
Yeah,
Mine's almost
mine
dead
is
too.
like literally on 2% battery. So if my
All right,
camera
all right.
just like cuts, like you guys know where I went. So like
Yeah.
before that happens, I'm just gonna say, Bones, thank you so much for the opportunity.
We
And
love
like
Let's
just
take
like
a quick screenshot. Can we take a quick
yeah,
screenshot?
do a quick screenshot. So
baby.
Benny, you take one too. I tried to get one earlier, but
Hold on. I'm gonna try it 1 sec.
okay.
You went
Either way,
sideways.
We love you. I really appreciate you having the time and coming on. I look forward to talking to you more in the future
sure, man.
and working with you more in the future for sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
100%. Like, thanks for continuing to, spread the good word on all local bands, big bands, small bands, anybody that's out there hustling. We need these
Yeah.
types of platforms. So you're doing a good service to musicians. So we appreciate your time as well.
Well, that means a lot, man. It's not too often you get that thanks in that sense, just as you were
Appreciate
saying earlier.
Did you have a
right?
favorite
So-
song by any chance? Just out of curiosity.
Well, you guys is Choke, man. That
Nice.
song gets me. And then The Fight was one I heard, and then that the one you were saying, fuck.
Autonomy's Conquest.
That's one there. That's the one, man. That one got me too. Like, and I got 9 already on my list. I was like,
Nice.
holy fuck, I already like 9 songs by these guys. Let's keep going. You know what I
Awesome.
mean? So,
That's awesome. Cool,
Awesome.
man.
no, I appreciate it, man. I can't thank you guys enough. Once again, you guys have merch. Before you guys go, you got merch. Where do we find your merch? Where's your website? Send me the links so I can post them.
Yeah, we do. Like,
Okay.
we're right now, we're like saying, like, DM us, like, for whatever you want on the merch. Like, our website is a work in progress that, like, we're getting, we're going to be doing, but we always have it at shows. And if you really do want something, like, send us a message and, whatever, we can coordinate.
Yeah, I'll
Perfect,
take care of that for sure. Yeah.
All right. Send me the links. Man,
Yep.
you guys are phenomenal. We have the Spotify link already. We're going to
Appreciate
update everything tonight. Play
Awesome.
it loud, play
Okay.
it proud, baby.
Thank you.
We'll
man.
see you guys
so
real soon, man. You guys are so
Yeah,
local.
for
That's
sure.
so
Yeah,
awesome.
Keep in touch.
But,
Okay. Thanks,
All right,
Bones.
guys.
Have a good night. Thank you so
thank
much
you
for.
guys so much. Talk to
All
you
right.
soon.
Have a
Peace, have a good night.
Thanks, everyone.
Take care.